Hello, fabulous Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of January 2016, General Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here and Happy New Year to everyone out there. This month, we've got a lot of energy and particularly a lot of intense energy, and particularly energy that intimately involves your modern ruling planet, Pluto. All happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with siblings, cousins, neighbors. And it is going to be these very people with whom you are going to find your relationship starts to go through an adjustment and some changes as well. We have got a new moon happening in this very part of the sky early in the month. But what we also have is the sun meeting Pluto, and Mercury dancing near Pluto, and Mercury essentially just hanging out with Pluto, just hovering there for a good week while Mercury slows to a station later in the month and goes direct. So all this is to suggest that it is going to be conversations and communications that are key. Mercury is retrograde, so you may not even be understanding things correctly, right? So there's this whole school of philosophy. I don't remember what it's called. It's been a lot of years since my undergrad years. But I remember learning about this whole understanding of how we are interacting with what we read, right? So this is something that actually comedians, make commentaries on as well. We can get emails, and one person, the intention is completely loving and innocent, and the other person is taking huge offense to this. So you're going to have to be mindful of this because Mercury's retrograde and hanging out near Pluto. That likelihood is is heightened, if you will. So with this particular energy, it is going to be those messages exchanged and an awareness on your part that you are interpreting what is written. You are interacting with what is written in your own personal way. You're bringing all of you to that moment and interpreting what you're reading. Regardless of what it says, you are having a relationship with what it is that you are reading. And that relationship might not be as the sender intended. So this is going to be part of the main lesson for you this particular month. Especially when you are interacting with, as I said, siblings, cousins, neighbors. Some of these conversations can be really positive, very provocative, helping you to understand some deep truths about yourself, about the way that you think, about the way that you communicate, and the way that you perceive your outer circumstances. So this is positive all around. But there's another element to this, or another part of this, if you will, and that has to do with coming to the deepening understanding, the deepening clarity of the dynamics that you have with these particular people. Now, keep in mind that again, Mercury's retrograde, so decisions that are made around a Mercury retrograde tend not to last. And there is that small possibility for a few of you out there, if there are any words exchanged that are in any way hurtful to you or to the other person, you will get your chance to clear the air. Because with this particular new moon in particular, Jupiter is very strongly placed. And you add to that a Leo full moon, strongly speaking with Saturn. And you've got this understanding of the big picture in mind. So it does look like all issues will find their resolution, but if you can, try to be clear. And also, if you are in a moment where you are feeling like, okay, I don't know what this means, and you feel a little sensitive, say that. Just be clear about that. Say, I'm feeling a little bit sensitive about this. I feel a little hurt about this. This is how this is making me feel. And be able to speak that truth. That actually might be a big part of how this month benefits you. because it gets you in touch with your voice. It gets you in touch with the potential to speak from a place of personal truth and be mindful of what you're saying so that it isn't about anybody else except you. Now, this also could bring an interesting interaction with a neighbor, okay? So you want to watch this. If you live in like a high-rise and you've got lots of people around you, or not, right? The situation might be different. This could bring one of those interactions with a neighbor that has you thinking, okay, what did that mean? What was that about? Why was that person reacting that way? In that case, and especially if you don't know that person very well, you can't really say, okay, this is how I feel, right? You can't really like hold your emotions and hand them over. But you can strive to understand where that person is coming from and know that ultimately it is about you and your own reactions. But it does look like an initial nice moment. Some communication takes place, some miscommunication takes place, and then you kind of go, okay, that was an interesting experience. And that's really all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be anything more than that if that's where you find yourself. As we move further into the month, we are going to have, as I mentioned, a full moon happening at the very top of your sky. Now, this is very beneficial for you where it comes to, on a literal level, where it comes to career, promotions, advancements, and especially the kind that bring greater financial benefit to you. And so with this particular full moon, speaking so harmoniously with Saturn in a financial part of your sky, it speaks very strongly to you feeling a sense of progress, a sense that your life is leading you towards greater and greater successes, and also a greater sense of financial security as well. So this particular sky says to me that you are feeling much more clear about your direction and also really proud of your success as well. So on a very literal level, this is really good for interviews. This is good for promotions. Mercury is going to be basically standing still right around this time. And as I said, hovering near Pluto. So what this says is, I mean, things will be brutally honest at this time. So you can handle it, I'm sure, I have no doubt. But just know that, like, as you step in, chances are that when you are in that interview, you will find yourself being very honest in ways that, you know, look, in any interview situation, we bring our best selves forward. But it's always interesting when you see and you're having those interactions in an interview situation, what does come forward with you once you relax just a little bit. And very often it is your own truth, your authentic and honest expression starts to come forward the more relaxed that you get. And you might see this in yourself. Also with this particular sky, the Freudian slip is very possible, but I'll talk a lot more about that in the love-focused horoscope, of course. What I love about this month for you is that there is progress to be made on a professional level, without a doubt. There is progress to be made on your understanding of the value that you are giving to the sense of direction that you have, and also a sense of life purpose, a sense of life direction, also playing out with this particular full moon as well. All of this put together does say that while you're working on your personal relationships and you're working on how it is that you're communicating and coming across, you also have that big picture in mind. You have your goals in mind. You understand what it is that really matters, what's worth going for. And you're getting an even clearer understanding of how to align a sense of life purpose with your prosperity. But this is a prosperity that lasts, that has real potential to be with you for a long time to come. A lot of times, prosperity like that comes from the inside out. It comes from recognizing not only your potential, but also the real worth that you have, whether it's to an organization, whether it is to the quality of the work that you're doing, You're raising your standards, and the universe is responding in kind, returning to you the opportunity to create greater abundance for yourself.